Adeni Johnson. Bolaji clinches bronze medal in Paralympics. Welcome back. Unknown gunmen suspected to be sea pirates have abducted no fewer than 10 travelers along the Bonny-Port Harcourt waterways. Though details are still sketchy, ATN gathered that the incident, which occurred in the early hours of Monday, which is Monday morning, is believed to be involved 10 persons traveling between Bonny and Port Harcourt. Confirming the incident to newsmen, the district chairman, Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria, River State District, Israel Pepple, said, "It's not a rumor, it is real. 10 persons have been kidnapped this morning coming from Bonny to Port Harcourt. We have reported to the security agencies." When contacted, the police public relations officer told newsmen that they were aware that 10 people have been kidnapped, but that the Commissioner of Police, Olatunji Disu, had mandated the Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of operations, DCP Olugbenga Adekboju, and the DPOs in that area to make sure the victims regain their freedom as soon as possible. In a different vein, All Progressives Congress in River State, led by Sir Tony Okocha, has updated the general public on the state of the party in River State amid some allegations made by Tony Okocha. There is more to this report.
Sir Tony Okocha, the APC CTC chairman in River State, has responded to a statement credited to the governorship candidate of the All Progressive Congress at the 2023 Guba election in River State, Tony Okocha, when he said Okocha-led APC is working for the FCT minister Nyeso Wike. Mr. Tony Okocha, while reacting to the allegation, described Tony Okocha as a total stranger in the politics of River State and therefore lacks the locus to speak about the All Progressive Congress in such manner. Okocha recalled when APC in River State started in 2014 when he was the chief of staff under Rotimi Amechi and also chairman of the subcommittee for mobilization of the party, adding that he played critical role in the formation of APC in River State. The APC CTC chairman Tony Okocha said the reason he is fraternizing with the FCT minister is because Wike was a major player that helped APC in River State win election for President Bola Tinubu in the 2023 presidential election and also a minister working under President Tinubu's administration. He also recalled that Tony Okocha, as the then APC Guba candidate, never campaigned for President Tinubu. Okocha therefore stated that as a co-founder and CTC chairman of APC in River State, he has every power and audacity to speak for the party.
Have people heard that the candidate of APC in River State organized a meeting or attempted to see how he can bring everybody together, even when we have said and over again that APC before we picked up was a social club and not a political party. So for him, a stranger in politics, to take to the media to say that I have no rights, I have no power to speak for APC. According to him, the only reason he had used was because I am a member of Wike's family. Why wouldn't I fraternize with Wike? All this, think of it. It's the man who made us largely to win election and break an age-long jinx.
The APC Caretaker Committee chairman further reminded the public that the planned local government election in River State by RISEC is an effort in futility, since the suit stopping INEC, police and the DSS from participating in the election is still in court. Concerning the party structure in River State, Okocha emphasized that APC under his watch is intact, both from the ward level to the local government level and the state level.
I would wish to share this local government amendment law number 4 of 2024. Now, particularly on the issue as contained in section 9.3 of the principal law, a new local government election shall hold before the expiration of 3 years tenure of the outgoing local government administration, which began from the date of their swearing in. I didn't write it. It's signed here.
I can't much saying go collect.
It's the law. That 3 months before the expiration of the incumbent, the ones who are already in the council, that what should happen? That there should be local government election. The election should have been somewhere in May. Did it hold? Does it conform with this law?
On his part, Secretary of the APC CTC in Rivers State, Eric Mwebani, urged party faithful to disregard comments and activities of Emeka Beke and Tonyeko, assuring confidence and justice from the judiciary. He said the APC is happy and has no regret in associating with the FCT minister, Nyeso Wike.
The members of our party, the APC in Rivers State, should completely discountenance both Emeka Beke and all those who are gallivanting with them are doing. We have confidence in the judiciary and will get justice. No regret whatsoever, like he said, to associate with the Honorable Minister of the FCT.
Ajoron was Samuel, ATM News, Port Harcourt.
Speaker, Rivers State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Martin Chikia-Mehule, has charged the newly elected executive of the People's Democratic Party in the state to be committed to the ideals of the party. Right Honorable Amewule, in a congratulatory message to the newly elected chairman, Honorable Chukwuemeka Aaron, and other members of the state party exco, said their emergence as the new executive of the PDP is testament to their dedication, hard work, and pedigree in party politics. The speaker expressed confidence that Honorable Chukwuemeka Aaron and his executive will bring fresh ideas, energy, and direction to the ruling PDP in Rivers State. He said this marks a new chapter in their party's journey and that he is confident that the new executive will build on the successes of the past while introducing fresh ideas to drive our party forward. He also congratulated the leader of the party, the FCT Minister, His Excellency Nyesom Wike, for the peaceful, exciting, and democratic exercise, stressing that Rivers State remains a stronghold of the PDP. Members of the Akwa Ibom State Police Command have apprehended 2 individuals, Fezie Chukwu Okolie and Udeme Daniel, on charges of drug trafficking. Timfon John, the public relations officer for the command, released a statement detailing the arrests. John reported that the 2 suspects were detained following a raid on their residence in the Ring Road 3 area of Yo on Saturday. The raid included a black bag containing 2 pistol magazines with 10 rounds of live 9mm ammunition, 1 black pistol casing, 2 pairs of leather gloves, and 3 wraps of what is suspected to be cannabis sativa. Timfon emphasized that the suspects are currently in custody and undergoing a thorough investigation. She assured the public of the command's dedication to eliminating crime in the state and encouraged residents to provide reliable information to aid in the fight against criminal activities. Operatives of the Edo State Police Command have arrested a 19-year-old Timothy Dauda for allegedly shooting one Alex Ezekiel to death. ATN reports that the incident happened at Onumu community in Akoko Edo, local government area of the state. Moses Joel Yamu, the public relations officer of the police of the command, who disclosed this in a statement available to newsmen in Benin City, said the suspect was arrested by personnel of the Igara division. Yamu said the suspect was a self-acclaimed native doctor who specializes in preparing charms against guns and cutlasses. He noted that the suspect, after preparing the charms for one Ezekiel, tried to test the efficacy of the charms by shooting his client. According to him, one Ezekiel, now deceased, went to the native doctor to get the charms prepared for him. The police spokesman added that the suspect will face prosecution as soon as investigations is concluded. Analysts have stated that the recent South-South Youth Peace Dialogue is a move in the right direction. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Atlantic Blowout, a political analyst, Ekie, maintained that the peace initiative will as well foster synergy and an avenue for collaboration between the state and federal governments.
Development for a good collaboration between the state government and the federal government, unlike most states where, because it's not an APC state, it looks as if having federal government programs and projects is being drawn in a party line and seems not to drive the real intention of the federal government.
Meanwhile, Mr. Ekie commended the Akwa Ibom state government for accommodating across party lines for the benefits of the youths.
And the executive governor of Akwa Ibom state for his large heart in accommodating a federal program, and encourage that other state governors should follow such kind gesture for the development.
This is coming as Dr. Jamaila Bayo Ibrahim, the Honorable Minister of Youth Development, has raised the youth and leaders of the South-South region for their dedication to peace, dialogue, and constructive engagement with the government. Dr. Ibrahim described the youth as exemplary in driving the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. Moving on, operatives of the Uyo Zonal Directorate of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission have arrested 48 suspected internet fraudsters in Umudike, Abia State. This was disclosed in a post via the Commission's official X handle on Tuesday. According to the Commission, the suspects were arrested at different locations within Umudike following actionable intelligence on their suspected involvement in internet fraud. They recovered items such as 12 exotic cars, 15 different brands of laptops, and 68 expensive smartphones. The Commission revealed that the suspects would be charged to court as soon as investigations are concluded. Governor of Enugu State, Dr. Peter Mba, on Monday commissioned 4 newly constructed and reconstructed roads in Abakbanike in Enugu Metropolis. Among them, the Mike Ejaha Crescent, where the musical legend lives, and the adjoining popular Obinagu Road, which he renamed after him. Other roads commissioned were Texaco Bus Stop, Ifo Road, and Mkpo Street. Mba, who also used the occasion to visit Mike Ejaha's residence, announced that the government would henceforth take full responsibility for his upkeep, describing him as a living legend. Mba, however, stressed the commissioned roads here was only the beginning of a new era for road infrastructure across Enugu State. Earlier in his remarks, the Commissioner for Works and Infrastructure, Engineer Gerald Otiji, and the Special Advisor to the Governor on Project Development and Implementation, assured the Governor and residents that the roads were constructed with durability and convenience for road users in mind. Meanwhile, receiving the Governor at his residence, Ejaha, who spoke through his son, Emma Ejaha, and daughter, Elizabeth Ugu, which is Ni Ejaha, said that Mba had honored him beyond his lifetime. Panic has enveloped residents of Amezi communities in Suka local government area of Enugu State following the tragic death of another yet to be identified woman, her daughter, and 2 others. The tragic incident, which occurred on September 1st, 2024, threw the whole community into deep mourning, even as the cause of the deaths could not be immediately ascertained. The 4 victims were said to have gone to bed after having their meals last night, only to die in their sleep. The traditional ruler of the community, HRH, Igwe Felix Ugu, while confirming the incident, said that the community was yet to recover from the shock of the incident. The monarch explained that one of the victims, identified as Mama Chijoke Amezi, had brought her ailing mother into her house and had been taking care of her before the mysterious incident, which also claimed her life. That of her mother, her sister, and a daughter. The royal father added that even though operatives from Nigeria Police Force and Suka Police Division had taken the victims to the hospital for autopsy and investigation, the community had resolved to go spiritual to unravel the cause of the incident. Ile-Ife Magistrate Court on Monday remanded the driver Lasisi Sadiq in a correctional facility for allegedly causing the death of an Obafemi Awolowo University student. Sadiq, who is 28 years old, was charged with driving against traffic law, reckless driving, driving without license, manslaughter, and driving without certificate of insurance. The prosecutor, ASP Akintunde Jacob, told the court that the defendants committed the offences on August 22nd at 10:30 a.m. opposite OAU main campus under the pedestrian bridge, Ife-Ibadan Road, Ile-Ife. Jacob said that the defendant drove a Lexus car on a public highway without adherence to traffic laws. He added that the defendant drove recklessly and caused the death of a late Esu Emma, a student of the AOU Ile-Ife. Jacob also said that the defendant drove dangerously without certificate insurance. The prosecutor said that the offences contravened Section 18 Cap 142 Volume 2 of the law and also contravened Sections 139 and 142 of Road Traffic Act Cap 548 laws of Nigeria in 2015. The defendants, however, pleaded not guilty. In a bench ruling, the magistrate, Ms. Abosede Sarumi, ordered that the defendant be remanded at the correctional facility, pending bail application. She also ordered the defense counsel, Mr. Leke Dada, to file a formal application for his client's bail. Sarumi adjourned the case until October 2 for mention. The Oyo State government have charged the 33 local government supervisory councillors and special assistants with seeing the appointments as a call to serve assiduously with transparency, integrity, credibility, and commitment. Speaking at an induction workshop for the appointees in Ibadan, Oyo State, Seyi Makinde urged them to be committed to the present administration's bid to sustain quality service, delivery, and extend democracy's dividend to the people. Represented by the Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Matters, Ademola Ojo Makinde, implored them to be agents of change. He urged them to strive to be the best while discharging their duties. Giving room for developmental strides in all sectors, the governor said he was delighted that the Oyo State had witnessed tremendous progress, which was a testimony to the governor's sterling qualities and has made the state a forerunner in progress, peace, and tranquility. He charged the appointees to see their appointment as a call to serve assiduously with undiluted qualities, as well as commitment in tandem with the present administration's bid to sustain quality service, delivery, and extend dividends of democracy to the grassroots. According to the governor, the workshop aims to keep the participants abreast of the modern trends in local government. He admonished the participants to use the training models, which have been meticulously designed to boost their understanding of governance. The federal government on Monday handed over 20 compressed natural gas buses to the Oyo State government. The Chief Executive Officer and Program Director of the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative, Michael Oluwagbemi, conducted the handover on behalf of the federal government at the Payseta Transport Service, LALA, in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. Oluwagbemi stated that the deployment of CNG buses in Nigeria aims to address issues related to petrol importation and other challenges affecting Nigerians. He said Ibadan for generations has always been attractive since its founding. It's a place where commerce thrives and a state of secret billionaires receiving the CNG buses on behalf of the state government. The chairman and sole administrator of PTS, Salami Diko, thanked the federal government and President Tinubu for the initiative. He noted that when he assumed office, he encountered only 5 operational buses, a number that has now increased to 81. Diko stressed that CNG is the best solution to the state's transportation issues, as Governor Sheyi Makinde supports the project to mitigate the effects of subsidy removal. He called on the PICNG to provide an additional 100 CNG buses to cover more routes within the state. In his goodwill message, the Special Assistant to the Governor, Makinde, on Environment, Ademola Aderinto, highlighted that CNG is more economical energy source as compared to PMS. 18-year-old girl Habibat Akinsanya, who had been reported missing, was discovered dead on her father's farm in Obasa, Mile 6, along Ajebo Road in Abeokuta, the capital of Ogun State. ATN learned on Monday that the victim was discovered dead on Sunday, bearing multiple machete wounds to her head and other parts of her body, with her hands bound behind her back. According to reliable police sources, the victim was sexually assaulted before being murdered. As our correspondent was informed, a police source who wished to remain anonymous due to not having the authority to speak on behalf of the state command, informed our correspondent that the brutal murder could only be linked to a revenge attack on the family. Onyeka, who the police had identified as a primary suspect in the murder and who typically worked for the father, allegedly told the deceased that her mother needed her at the farm to help with cassava harvest. ATN, however, learned that the family grew suspicious of foul play when the deceased sister could not find her at either the shop or home. This led the father to report the situation to Kempta Police Division. In a different story, Ogun State Police Command on Monday said it has launched a manhunt for the killers of the 17-year-old secondary school student in the state, Habiba Akinsanya, who was kidnapped on Friday and subsequently murdered by her abductors in the early hours of Sunday. The police also clarified that the father of the slain, Mr. Akinsanya Aremu, only paid 30,000 naira to the abductors for his daughter and not 1 million naira as initially said. The police said the residents of the community had said they saw the late Habiba while entering the farm with one of the farm workers working for the victim's father, where her corpse was eventually found. Akinsanya, an officer with Ogun State government, owned security outfits. So Safety Corps was said to have paid the money into a money point account provided by the kidnappers so as to facilitate the tracking and arrest of those behind the kidnapping of her daughter. The Divisional Police Center of Kempta Division Abeokuta CSP Olawale Famubuwa disclosed this after being granted approval by the State Commissioner of Police, Abiodun Alamutu. Sad incident. Famubuwu said the father of the deceased reported to the police station on Friday at about 9:30 p.m. that her daughter, Habiba, Famubuwa regretted that the sole safe security agency established by the state government could have the vital information volunteered by the residents of the community, yet he refused to release such to the police. He said the farm worker who is said to have taken to his heels is a prime suspect, but that the police will do everything possible under the law to make all the assailants involved pay for their misdeeds. Sharia Court in Kano State on Monday ordered that 2 housewives should be remanded in a correction center for assaulting their neighbor. The police charged Sa'adutu Abubakar, 33-year-old, and Amina Abu Abdul Kadir, 20-year-old, all of Mandwari Sabontiti in Gwali local government area of Kano, with criminal intention, hurt, and intimidation. When the charge was read to them, they both pleaded not guilty. The judge, Malam Umar Lawal Abubakar, ordered that they should be remanded in the Goron Dutse Correctional Center in Kano. Inspector Abdullahi Wada told the court that the complainant, Ferdausu Aliyu, who also resides in Mandari Sabontiti, reported the matter to the Mandari police station on August 28. Wada said that the complainant had a misunderstanding with the defendants about some money. He said that the defendants attacked Aliyu with a pistol and also beat her hand, which led to serious injuries. The prosecutor said the offense contravened provisions of Section 158 of the Penal Code. Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Sule has sought the intervention of the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Abdullahi Ganduje, towards resolving the lingering crisis engulfing the party in Benue State. Governor Sule, who is the chairman of the North Central Governors Forum, made his appeal when he visited the National Secretariat of the party in Abuja. Governor Sule expressed his conviction that Ganduje, a former deputy governor and former governor, has the pedigree to resolve the Benue State APC impasse. Sule said he was also at the National Secretariat of the party to pay respect to the national chairman, who he said deserves respect and cooperation, especially as the APC gears towards participating in the scheduled governorship election in Edo State. Governor Sule used the opportunity of the visit to call on his APC colleague governors to endeavor to pay regular visits to the National Secretariat of the party in order not to be seen as visitors in a house they all worked hard to build. In his response, the APC National Chairman Ganduje appreciated Governor Sule for his visit, especially that there were controversies in the party in Benue State. Ganduje said he wanted the APC to be a strong institution that would back the ruling government, as well as an institution that would ensure internal democracy. He, however, warned that with him in charge at the helm of affairs of the party, it was no longer business as usual. Makurdi High Court on Monday heard a motion filed by Council of the All Progressives Ghana and other lawyers. ATM recalled that the court had on 28th of August 2024 extended the lifespan of the Council for APC Bukar SAN filed and served many processions on MT Ayepuse Esquire, who appeared with EE Adigbogbo for Agada and other applicants. Despite the service of the further affidavit on MT Ayebolo in court, he agreed to take the motion for setting aside the restraining order. The main ground of the motion is that the originating motion was not signed and that the interim injunction cannot stand on an unassigned originating motion. MT Ayebo, who appeared for the Benue APC chairman, Agada, told the court that the originating motion was properly signed by SOS Napoleon Esquire. He referred the court to its copy of the originating motion, submitting that it is the judge's copy of the motion that will determine whether the process was signed situation. Ayebo submitted that, assuming without conceding that the copy of the process exhibited by the SEN was not signed, the case is valid, drawing the court's attention to the fact that even on that copy brought by the SS, Justice Teresa Igoche, after listening to the counsels, adjourned the matter to 10 September 2024 for a final ruling. Military High Command has debunked claims of the abduction of 150 persons by terrorists in Gobir in Sokoto State. A statement signed by the Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, African country and not in Nigeria. General Buba, in a statement, explained that on 29th of August 2024 at about 5 p.m., troops of Operation Hadirin Daji, deployed at FOB Zuruma in Zormi local government area of Zamfara State, embarked on fighting patrols lodged terror gathering at Kwashabawa village, and during the fight, while attempting to outflank the terrorists, quantity 2 of troops, MRAPs, got bogged down due to the swampy terrain occasioned by the rains. The statement added that the troops dismounted and demobilized the RAPs when efforts to backload them were futile. The sad demobilization of the troops by the troops, he said, was to prevent it from being useful to the terrorists after abandonment. He, however, urged Nigerians to be circumspect of the antics of terrorists to propagate misinformation, disinformation, and fake news as part of their war's efforts. Kebbi State Governor Nasir Idris on Monday swore in the newly elected 21 local government chairman in the state. Candidates of the All Progressives Congress were declared winners in the election held on Saturday by the State Electoral Commission. The swearing, which was held at the Presidential Lodge in Benin, Kebbi, the state capital, was attended by the governor and top political office holders in the state. The state chief judge, Umar Abubakar, administered the oath of office to the elected chairman, who are expected to be in charge for 3 years. Earlier in his speech, the governor tasked them to live above board by ensuring dividends for democracy at the grassroots level. The governor also urged them to involve people of their communities to benefit from their reign as chairman and councillors of local governments. The state government immediately issued Hilux operational vehicles to the chairman and their deputies. Fire erupted at the Katsina State Government House on Monday morning, consuming the esteemed Red Chamber, a key component of the governor's office, where important meetings with distinguished guests and stakeholders are frequently held. During the blaze, heroic efforts by firefighting teams were underway to control the flames and mitigate further damage. Although the exact cause of the fire remains undetermined, authorities are diligently investigating to uncover the source and assess that damage has done to the facility. Nasarawa State House of Assembly has confirmed the appointment of one Omar Mohammed as the Director General of the State's Bureau of Public Procurement, BPP. The confirmation was announced by Speaker Danladi Jatau after Mohammed appeared before the House for screening on Monday in Lafia. Following the successful screening, Jatau directed the Clerk of the House to communicate the House resolution to Governor Abdullahi Sule for further necessary action. You're watching the Global News and Atlantic Television Network. We'll be back after this short break. Stay with us. Welcome back. This is the Global News and Atlantic Television Network. Now to the rest of our stories. Federal government on Monday arraigned 10 NBAD governance protesters who had been arrested in Abuja, Kaduna, Kano, and Gombe before a federal high court in Abuja. The defendants, who were charged with treasonable felony, which carries the death penalty, and accusations of a plan to destabilize Nigeria, were brought to the court amidst tight security. The 6 counts filed against them. The defendants are Michael Tobiloba Adaramoye, a.k.a. Lenin, Adeyemi Abiodun Abayomi, a.k.a. Yomi, Suleiman Yakubu, Comrade Okpaoluwa, Angel Innocent, Buhari Lawal, Musiu Sadiq Bashir Bello, Naruddin Kamis, and Abdusalam Zubairu. Their protesters had faulted the court order that permitted their arrest and detention, telling President Bola Tinubu that he had no right to arrest them. The protesters in a suit challenged the August 22, 2024 Federal High Court order issued by Emeka Wite that permitted the Inspector General of Police to remand them for 60 days pending the conclusion of the investigation in their case. The protesters, in an affidavit deposed to one Paul Ochai, maintained that protest is a right, and in fact, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Siwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu, had led protests in the past without being harassed, detained, or contended that the motion ex parte constitutes a gross abuse of the court's processes, asking the court to set aside, discharge, and/or vacate the ex parte order that approved their remand in prison for 60 days. In several substance on media marshals in the Ika community of Ankpa local government area, Kogi State, the 2 Chinese nationals and a Nigerian were arrested for engaging in mining activities without proper authorization. The operation is a part of a broader initiative to enforce existing mining regulations. In a related development, the mining marshals also raided an illegal gold mining site in the Ogunlekpa Oluwa Forest Reserve at the Igbo local government area of Ondo State, where 4 suspects were arrested. The Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, emphasized the government's commitment to sanitizing the mining sector, stating that the 2,570-strong mining marshals drawn from the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps are a key component of his 7-point agenda aimed at reforming the sector. Alake reaffirmed the government's dedication to eliminating illegal mining through enhanced operations of the mining marshals, including the use of technology and the upcoming implementation of satellite monitoring of mining sites. He urged those still involved in illegal activities to turn a new leaf and comply with the relevant sections of the Nigerian Minerals and Mining Act to regularize their operations, warning that the federal government's resolve to enforce the law is unwavering. Federal Republic of Nigeria has underscored its commitment to deepen ties with Indonesia, highlighting the untapped economic potential and promising avenues for collaboration. 1/2 2024 in Bali, Indonesia, representing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Nigeria's Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, led the Nigerian delegation to the high-level multi-stakeholder partnership and the joint leaders session. The minister reiterated Nigeria's dedication to fostering a stronger partnership with Indonesia, emphasizing that both regions stand to gain significantly from enhanced cooperation in trade, investment, and the exchange of knowledge and expertise. The forum highlighted that significant economic and demographic potential of Africa and Indonesia, which together represents over 1.7 billion people and a combined GDP of 4.4 trillion United States dollars. The event brought together heads of state, government officials, business leaders, and stakeholders from across the region to discuss economic cooperation, address global challenges, and explore avenues for mutual sustainable growth. 63 most comprehensive agenda national Andrew Wayne, also known as Andrew Povich, and a Nigerian, Lucky Obiya, wanted for allegedly plotting to overthrow the democratically elected government in the country. The police accused the British national of building a network of sleeper cells to topple the government and plunge the nation into chaos. Addressing journalists in Abuja, the first spokesperson, Muyiwa Adejobi, said Wayne rented a space at Labour House and established a school to serve as a decoy. He said the Nigeria Police Force has launched a comprehensive investigation into the activities of foreign nationals and subversive elements plotting to undermine the democratically elected government in Nigeria through unconstitutional regime change and orchestrating violence across the country. Adejobi said documentary evidence and confessions revealed that Wayne provided finance and operational guidance to allegedly topple an elected government in the country. Adejobi said Win and his local coordinator Obiang had fled the country. Amnesty International has condemned the planned mass trial of hundreds of protesters arrested during the nationwide End Bad Governance protests held between August 1st to August 10, 2024. In a statement issued on Monday, the country Sanusi criticized the Nigerian government's handling of the situation, labeling the trials a blatant attempt to punish dissent and stifle critical voices. Sanusi further highlighted the severity of the charges being brought against the protesters, including treason, which carries the death penalty, and accusations of a plan to destabilize Nigeria. He describes those charges as blatantly trumped up and demanded their immediate withdrawal. Amnesty International faulted the nature of the trials, condemning them as a sham even before they had begun. The organization called for an immediate end to what it described as endless, bizarre attempts to deprive citizens of their rights to a peaceful protest. The rights group also urged the Nigerian government to release all those detained during the protests, emphasizing that in various regions where dozens were killed and many others subjected to severe violations by and focus on addressing the country's pressing issues such as insecurity, corruption, and widespread poverty. And now to business news. Rising inflation rates will force Nigerian households to spend the largest amounts of their earnings on food in the recent 6 months. A recent survey by the Central Bank of Nigeria has shown this is as the most recent reports by the National Bureau of Statistics post the percent. According to the CBN report, the poll was conducted from July 22 to 26, 2024, with a response rate of 99.7%, with its sample size drawn from MBS master sample lists of 1,600 households and in 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory. The report, Household Expectations Survey, published on its website, CBN said many Nigerians intend to cut down on items that were not essential now in the next 3 and 6 months. They, however, plan to spend 54.9% of their income on food items in the next 6 months. On the flip, the respondents, such as the purchase of a house, car, and household appliances. Also, Nigerians do not intend to spend on investments, such as acquiring landed properties or other forms of investments. They equally do not plan on saving their incomes. Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited has confirmed significant financial strain due to debt owed to international petrol suppliers. The company has remained the sole importer of petrol into the country following the foreign exchange crisis that has resulted in significant increase in price differentials between the landing cost and the retail price of the product. Recorded at the media dollars to fuel traders for imported petrol. The NNPCL, in a statement, said that this situation threatens the sustainability of fuel supply in Nigeria. Reports indicate that the National Oil Company is grappling with delayed payments that now exceed 130 days, far longer than the standard of 90 days. Despite this financial pressure, NNPCL's Chief Corporate Communications Officer, Olufemi Soneye, in a statement said the corporate remains committed to its role as a supplier of last resort under the Petroleum Industry Act. According to him, the company is working closely with government agencies and stakeholders to ensure stable supply of petroleum products across the nation. The operations of the NNPCL, as regulated by Gifton Jamila, maintain that the law's regulation
Industry Act, sorry, the various petroleum laws that were existing in Nigeria, to the extent that the only difference that it made NNPC a public going concern, therefore allows for a period of time where the individuals can buy into the shares and become stakeholders, and that the NNPC, by so doing, having listed in the stock exchange market, will now begin to be operated within.
Speaking further, Mr. Jamala emphasized on the need for global best practice and administration in the NNPCL.
Code of governance, and therefore it set a precedence for how companies should be regulated, especially board of directors and whatever organs of the company, as the case may be. If you look some days ago, if you now and I think.
ATM recall, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has stated that contrary to the claim by Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited to be a private firm, it remains the ATM of the federal government. Atiku further demanded that the listing of the corporation NNPC on the stock exchange in line with the Industry Act in petroleum. U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission has imposed a $250 million penalty on Dozie Mbosi, the former CEO of Tingo Group, a Nigerian company, for inflating the company, which commenced on 2023, uncovered that Tingo Group and its subsidiary, Tingo Mobile, had forcefully reported their revenue and cash reserves. The actual cash balance of Tingo's mobile accounts in Nigeria was found to be far less than the reported figures, adding to accusations of fraudulent financial reporting. In addition to the substantial fine, Mbosi has been prohibited from serving as a director of any public company. The SEC ruling also prohibits Tingo Group and its associated entities from breaching securities frauds regulation. Despite Tingo Group's denial of the allegations, neither Mbosi nor the company responded to the civil complaint, resulting in a default judgment by the court. On December 18, 2023, Mbosi faced charges from the SEC for falsifying financial statements and records related to 3 companies, including Tingo Mobile and Tingo Foods PLC. The SEC launched an investigation into Tingo Group in 2023, and charges were filed against both the company and its CEO in December. Tingo Group, which has often presented itself as an agri-fintech company and reported significant revenue, was listed on NASDAQ. The SEC accused Mbosi of engaging in a multi-year scheme to exaggerate the financial performance metrics of its companies and key subsidiaries, thereby allegedly defrauding investors globally. The charge. Up next is the international tidbits. African Editors Forum has criticized the deterioration of press freedom in Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali, citing a troubling resurgence and intensification of media repression. It said the military authorities in the aforementioned countries had effectively shut the media space, snuffed out freedom of expression and the press, and has become increasingly hostile to journalists. It urged the military authorities in Burkina Faso to free and allow the media to operate and ensure the safety of all journalists in the country. It also raised the alarm that several international local radio, such as Radio Omega, Le Achievement, and EIDA, has been shut down, suspended in Burkina Faso. It added that under the watch of the President Ibrahim Traoré, an aggressive nationwide campaign to silence critical journalism and freedom of expression and the kidnapping of journalists and human rights defenders has been reported. The African Editors Forum said it had become common for reporters covering protests in these countries to be threatened or subjected to violence. According to the African Editors Forum, the deterioration of the political and security environment had brought increased pressures on journalists, worsening the environment for journalism and access to plural media. It added that the situation was also compelling news organizations, fearing for their safety, to resort to the publication of news and information favorable to the media, to the military leaders, gradually overshadowing critical reporting. One of Libya's most wanted human traffickers was killed on Sunday in the capital, Tripoli, Libyan officials said, fueling tension in the West African part of the country. Abdelrahman Mohammed, who commanded the guard on hit in the western coast of Zamora, was sanctioned by the United Nations Security Council, was shot dead by unknown assailants. The officials said the circumstances of his death were not immediately known and no group claimed responsibility for his killing. Libyan media outlets reported that he was shot while he was in a vehicle in the Sayad area in the western part of Tripoli. Footage circulated online showed a white Toyota Land Cruiser for Milad with bullet marks on its sides. Both officials spoke on condition of anonymity for their safety. There was no comment from the Tripoli-based government of Prime Minister Abdul Hamid Beba. Libya had been plagued by corruption and turmoil since the NATO-backed uprising toppled and killed longtime dictator Muammar Gaddafi in 2011. The country has since split between two administrations, each backed by military groups and foreign governments. Amid chaos, the oil-rich country has emerged as a major conduit for people from Africa and the Midwest fleeing wars and poverty, hoping to reach Europe by crossing the Mediterranean Sea, and other human smugglers from rival gangs. On Monday morning, Russia launched a series of intense drone strikes against Ukraine, targeting Kyiv, Sumy, and Kharkiv. According to officials, in Kyiv, 2 people sustained injuries and various neighborhoods experienced damage, as reported by Mayor Vitaly Klitschko on Telegram. The attacks led to several fires in western Kyiv, causing damage to homes and vehicles. Although windows in a metro station were shattered, the metro system remains operational. The Kyiv military administration revealed that Russian forces fired crucial missiles and drones at the city, with the missiles being launched from Saratov to Russia's Volga region. Ukrainian air defenses intercepted approximately 10 of the other cruise missile drones over Kyiv. Nationally, the Ukrainian military estimates that has been a total of ballistic missiles, 13 cruise missiles, and 20 drones were downed. In Sumy, which lies the border with Russia, the damage was more severe than in Kyiv. Officials reported 18 injuries from Russian missile attacks, including 6 children. The strikes destroyed 5 residential towers and an education institution. According to police, Sumy faces increased attacks likely due to its proximity to the Russian region of Kursk, where Ukrainian forces made advances in early August during a counter-offensive. Kharkiv, also one of the border, experienced further shelling. Governor Oleg Shenbov reported that a woman was injured in a drone strike during the night. Additionally, the city's industrial district was targeted in the early hours, resulting in the destruction of a resident building and other structures in the garden area. Court in Israel has ordered an end to strikes across a range of sectors on Monday that was called to protest the government's failure to agree to a deal that was to return hostages after the discovery of bodies of 6 hostages in the Gaza Strip. The major strike, led by Israel's trade union umbrella organization, Histadrut, began in protest against the government officials to end the conflict. In many cities, kindergartens, banks, and government offices remain closed. Public transport is also affected, and there were disruptions and delays to air traffic at Ben Gurion International Airport near Tel Aviv. Most cities' communities joined the protest, while others refused to do so, as they were more closely aligned with Netanyahu's right-wing religious government. The government supporters slammed the protest movement, saying it played into the hands of Hamas and encouraged it to maintain a tough negotiation position. Later, a labor court ordered an early end to the strike because it was politically motivated. The Israel Defense Forces said on Sunday that troops had recovered the bodies of 6 hostages from the tunnel in Gaza. The 4 men and 2 women were kidnapped during the Hamas-led terrorist attack on October 7. The Israeli health minister said the hostages were shot in close range, some 40 to 78 hours, and there has been autopsy on the bodies. More than 80 teenagers have been released from prison over the weekend in Venezuela, according to a human rights group, after being arrested during anti-governmental protests following Venezuela's disputed presidential election in late July. Venezuela's Electoral Council and its top courts have proclaimed President Nicolas Maduro in power since 2013 as the winner of the July election and has published complete voting tallies. Venezuela opposition has published tallies showing the landslide win of candidate Edmundo Gonzalez. The post-election street protests left some 27 people dead and 2,000 more arrested. The Venezuelan government has blamed the opposition for the deaths, while opponents accuse the government for carrying out a campaign of repression. Alfredo Romero, the president of the non-governmental human rights organization Foro Penal, wrote on X that 86 teenagers arrested during the protest had been released from prison in recent days. Mexico's lower house of Congress is slated to open debate on Tuesday. Ricardo Monreal, the ruling party leader in the chamber, said the judicial overhaul proposed by outgoing President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador and backed by incoming President Claudia Sheinbaum has sparked a strike by judicial workers, strained relations with the United States, and spooked foreign investors. ATN gathered that the backbone of the constitutional reform would see more than 7,000 judges and magistrates elected by popular votes. It will reduce the number of judges on the Supreme Court from 11 to 9. Supporters of the reform says it is necessary to address Mexico's high level of impunity and violent crimes. Monreal said on Sunday that lawmakers would debate and vote on the reform on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then send the legislation to the Senate. The ruling Morena party and his allies hold a 2/3 supermajority in the lower house and are only one seat short in the Senate. On Sunday, university students and judicial workers protested in front of the Senate headquarters in opposition to the measures. Obrador says the reforms are necessary because the judicial system is not at the service of the people, and instead proposed changes will trample on labor rights, and that the popular elections of judges risk allowing special interests, including criminal groups, to seize control of the judiciary. Russia said on Sunday that it had thwarted a massive Ukrainian drone attack by downing 158 drones across 15 regions, including 2 over the capital of Moscow. A coal-fired power plant near the city was reportedly hit, as was an oil refinery within the city boundaries. Russia's defense ministry said most of the drones, 122 of them, were downed over the regions of Kursk, Bryansk, Vonsk, and Belgorod, which border Ukraine, adding that their defenders are repelling an attempted massive UAV attack on the territory of Bryansk region. Regional Governor Alexandra Bogomaz said ATN gathered that the barrage comes just days after Ukraine's energy infrastructure was targeted by over 200 Russian drones and missiles in one of the biggest such attacks. It is also nearly a month since Ukraine went on the offensive in Russia's Kursk region, even as Russian troops continue their steady advancement in eastern Ukraine. Both sides have targeted energy infrastructure since Russia began its campaign in Ukraine in February 2022. A local official in the Moscow region said 3 drones had tried to hit the Krushka coal-fired power station, but neither victim nor damages were recorded, adding that electricity was still reaching clients correctly. Russian news agencies also reported a fire at the Moscow oil refinery in Kapotnia, though Mayor Sergei Boham said that there was no damage or casualties in the Belgorod region. Governor Ves Gladov said that the glass and trader buildings of Belgorod damaged and one private residence, a utility building, was completely destroyed. On Wednesday, Ukrainian drones struck 2 fuel depots, setting them ablaze in southwest Russia. Nigeria's National League outfit, Heartland, will unveil their new players on Thursday, September 5th. The unveiling ceremony will hold at Dan Ayaun Stadium, Owerri. ATM recalls that the Nazi Millionaires embarked on a screening exercise last month. The Nazi Millionaires will host NNL side Kun Khalifat FC of Owerri in the encounter. The maiden edition of the Dan Amiam Cup will also kick off the same day. The game will be played under floodlights, with the winner going home with a giant trophy. Heartland were relegated from the Nigerian Premier Football League last season. Eniola Bolaji has made history as the first African athlete to win a medal in para badminton, securing a bronze medal for Nigeria in the women's singles SL3 category. On Monday morning, Bolaji defeated her Ukrainian opponent, Oksana Koizna in straight sets of 2-0, 21-9, 21-9 to win Nigeria's first Paralympics medal in Paris. Although Bolaji had good sides set on gold, she fell short of the semi-final on Sunday, losing 16-21, 17-21 to Chinese Jung Zhuao. However, she redeemed herself, clinching the bronze on Monday. Many will be pleased to see Nigeria end its medal drought following disappointing results in the Olympic Games and recent concluded World Under-20 Athletics Championships. Interim Super Eagles manager Augustine Eguavon has selected Fidelis Lechukwu and Daniel Ogumodede to assist him in the 2025 African Cup of Nations qualifying matches against Benin Republic and Rwanda. The Director of Communications for Nigerian Football Federation, Ademola Olajire, in a statement on Monday, said Enugu Rangers head coach Lechukwu and Ogumodede of Remo Stars would assist Eguavon for the two matches. Eguavon will take charge of the Super Eagles for the two games. Ogumodede is one of the popular coaches in the Nigerian Premier Football League. The young tactician has guided Remo Stars to second place finish in the last two seasons. He signed a new 3-year contract with Sky Blue Stars last month. Lechukwu leading the Flying Antelopes to triumph Nigeria's elite division last season. The Ogumodede Remo Stars in second place. The Super Eagles will host neighbors Benin Republic at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium in Uyo on Saturday. They will face Rwanda at the Amahoro Stadium in Kigali on next Tuesday. Tomas Zurek, a fitness trainer from Slovenia, will help caretaker coach Auguste Eguavon to drill Super Eagles players for the upcoming 2025 African Cup of Nations qualifiers against Benin Republic and Rwanda. Nigeria's Football Federation announced the composition of the caretaker technical crew on Monday. Fidelis Lechukwu and Daniel Ogumodede will assist Auguste Eguavon, the head coach. Abiodun Baruwa will continue as role of goalkeeper trainer, while Eboborise Owajerome will serve as match analyst. 7 players have already arrived the team's camp in Uyo. Captain William Trust Ekong, Ademola Lukman, Taiwa Awoniyi and Olaino are among the early birds in camp. The other players who arrived camp on Monday morning are Olise Nda, Semi Ajayi and Fisayo Bashiru. More players are still being expected in camp. Caretaker head coach Auguste Eguavon summoned 23 players for both games. The 3-time African champion will take on Benin Republic on Saturday. The team will depart for Kigali on Sunday for Tuesday's match day 2 clash with Amavubi Bees for Rwanda at the Amahoro Stadium, starting from 3 p.m. Rwandan time and 2 p.m. in Nigerian time. Moving on, still on the Osimhen saga, Napoli are in talks to loan Victor Osimhen to Turkish Super League champion integrated back to the squad because he was the one who originally requested an exit. According to Sky Sports Italia, Napoli are now negotiating to loan Osimhen to Galatasaray. The former Serie A large part of his €10 million euros per season salary. An alternative would be for Galatasaray to cover the wages but not to pay anything for the loan. The Turkish transfer window is open up until September 13th. And now to entertainment. Africa the weekend on its official Instagram page, adding that he has no right to portray himself as a member and stopped from the club activities. The statement noted that the decision was born out of gross misconduct and breach of club's constitution. ATN reports that Afrimec is a club known for its influential members in Nigeria's entertainment industry. Prior to his suspension, Adeni served as the public relations officer of Afrimec. Nigerian R&B singer Temilade Okpeni, popularly known as Tems, has said she's open to marriage. Unlike many celebrities who have publicly ruled out marriage, the 29-year-old Grammy Award-winning singer said she's hoping to see. It was announced, it was rumored. It was once rumored that she was pregnant for American rapper to have any agenda in a relationship other than sex. And that's the global news for tonight. Before we go, another look at the major stories. Gunmen abducts 10 in Bonny waterways. EFCC nabs 48 internet fraudsters. Johnson. Bolaji clinches bronze medal in Paralympics. I am David Obasi. Thank you for watching. You can follow us on our social media platforms: Twitter at Atlantic TV Net, Facebook and YouTube Atlantic Television Network, Instagram at Atlantic TV Network. Peace and unity at the path.